Hello Shenanigamers, and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Last time, we were in the ruins and we kind of got a bit brutalized. We couldn't finish the quest that we went on, so we had to fall back. And we ended up losing Durari in the process. Now we have Pekov, the gunslinger. Hopefully, they will be a valuable asset to the team. But this time, we're going to try and recover with a veteran mission in the Cove. A lot of our missions are going to be veteran ones now, which is fine. Now, Mr. Villa is a Cove Scrounger. Crimson Vicaire is a Cove Adventurer, so it seems like a rather stupid decision not to take Crimson, because we can give them one of the heads. They're pretty good in the Cove here. Now, who else is good in the Cove? Let's have a look. Out of all the people we have here, Ormond is a Cove Tactician. The Blights are good because they don't care about bleed resistance, so Ormond is probably a good bet. And we could swap out Breakthrough for Adrenaline Rush. On Crimson. That could be a good bet. That would make them more effective from the first and second position, and give them something to do even if they're moved to the back. But Breakthrough, while it debuffs with minus 10% damage and minus 1 speed, does help move Crimson up to the front. A little bit easier. No, not quite yet. We'll keep thinking here. Now, we could take Vinoy, as they are an Eldritch Hater. That wouldn't be the worst bet. I think we're going to take Fitzherbert just because we could use some more coin. Reviers is very stressed out. We're not going to take them. And we're not going to take any of our lower level heroes here. Dismas is a Cove Scrounger, so we could send that team in. Who do we put in the third position here? Is it Papon? I think it's going to end up being Papon here. Alright. Let's see. What can we kit everyone out with? Let's go ahead and make sure everything is unequipped and sorted by rarity. There we go. Alright. So, now, as a Cove Adventurer, we could drop Crimson's HP by 10%. Since they have Tough and Cove Adventurer, that means that that's just straight up a 25% increase to their damage. We could also give them Protection, which I think is a very good idea. The less damage Crimson take, the better off we'll be. However, the more damage they can deal, the better off we will be as well. 11 to 22 is great. So then, let's see what else we can give them that will help. We could give them the Hellish Pendant, or the Selfish Pendant, not Hellish. I combined Hellion and Selfish. It's the Selfish Pendant. I almost called it Hellish Pendant again. The Selfish Pendant for the Hellion, which gives them minus 15% stress. That could be a good combination. But I don't think they need that just yet at this point. Instead, let's see about getting them something else as a buff. What else could we give them? could give them the focus ring, but that would drop their dodge to near nothing. I think we're just gonna stick with the bleeding pendant on that one. Now, Ormond, we know pretty well what we want. We want to give them the shimmering scale. That way they get some protection. And then we want to give them the Dancer's Foot Wraps. That ups their speed and gives them a bit more move resist. They only get an increase of stress by 5. That's not going to be the worst thing we have here. So that puts their move resist up to 135%. That's a very high move resistance, very, very beautiful. Very, very effective. Ormond moves for nearly no one at that point. Hopefully, at least. Now, Paplin. We want their heals to be great, so we're giving them the Tome of Holy Healing, as we need to, or as we should, rather. They have nothing here to really drop their stress in the Cove. And there's nothing we can really do to help them in that regard. Other than that, we could give them the Ancestor Scroll, though, for an extra 25% healing increase. And that's not the worst idea. We could also give them the Haste Chalice to make them a little bit faster, or give them the Virtuous Chalice to give them a better virtue chance, but we've already lost one Vestal recently. So let's go ahead and give them the Ancestor Scroll. It's only a 10% increase in stress. That's not the worst thing in the world. Now, Fitzherbert is evasive, which is exactly what we want in an antiquarian. The higher the dodge, the better. So, of course, naturally, we're going to give them the Bag of Marbles, put that dodge up to 30. That's an incredibly high dodge early on, and we can actually upgrade their armor to increase it further. Now, on top of all that, I'm going to give them the Fleet Florin for the extra speed and the debuff skill chance. And while we're at it, since this is going to be a shorter mission, and we're going to try to focus on getting our money up anyway, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we buff this armor, and we'll put off upgrading their weapon for now, but we will upgrade the healing or the fortifying vapors, and I think that's all we want there. Let's make sure that no one else on the team has any skills that we really want to upgrade here. Serpent Sway doesn't really change. When we upgrade it there, so I don't see why we should on that one at least. Don't think we need to upgrade any of that. We want to upgrade Divine Comfort, Divine Grace, and Judgment. To upgrade the healing we can do. And then Crimson, we can upgrade Breakthrough to level 2. Fairly effectively and fairly cheaply as well. So we might as well. As I hum to myself in contemplation, I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and get this mission going to the Cove. Got them all equipped with trinkets, so let's go ahead and take what we can. Stacking a third of food, 2 keys. I'm gonna take 4 medicinal herbs, 4 bandages, 2 antivenoms, 4 holy waters, 2 laudanums, stacking a quarter of torches. Well, actually, yeah, we'll make it a stack and a half, and 3 shovels. That about wipes us out, so let's hope we can get some good money on this. So Just double checking to make sure. Yep, we've got everything, or at least a little bit of everything. Let's embark. Cove. The fish folk's scaled skin affords them increased resistance to bleeding attacks. That it does, which is why the only one with bleeding attacks that we have is Crimson, and we gave them a trinket to increase their chance of causing bleeds. It's also why we have Ormond for blights.
These salt-soaked caverns are teeming with pelagic nightmares. They must be flushed out.
Let's see what we can do. 100% of room battles. There's only 7 possible battles here. Crimson's already fairly stressed, as is Fitzherbert, but we can deal with this. Right. So, let's see what we can do. Right. Roman's just gonna open that. We'll take it, I suppose. Blood and a decent pile of coin. Trap, unfortunately.
The trap maker's art.
That drops the dodge by 25, which actually doesn't matter much with Fitzherbert's dodge being so high. The speed drop is kind of rough, too, though. But that's going to last for another 12 rounds, so we're actually going to use, unfortunately, one of our medicinal herbs to get rid of that. Because that debuff is so strong and lasts for such a long while. Right. Up the torch, enter the room. Room battle. We get the surprise, though. So we have 1 pelagic bulwark, 2 pelagic widemouths, and a pelagic oracle. So we could expose the oracle here, but instead, I think what we want to do is sway forward, get the block set up early, and raise Ormond's speed. After that point, what we want to do here next, I believe, is set Festering Vapors up on this bulwark just to get some damage over time going. Or at least lower their blight resistance for future. Then we can go with Judgment here on this wide mouth, which they dodge, of course. Why wouldn't they? And then beyond that, we'll go for the Wicked Hack on this one. Get some decent damage going there. Put them with the Stress Wave, block the damage, but the stress still goes through. Spearfishing. Ow. That moves them up. That's alright. They're still at the back. And that one's blocked, and then Barnacle Barrier. On the stealth target we couldn't really target in the first place. Very well, then. Let's go ahead and pierce the bulwark here. The crit for 22. Love to see that. And we get some extra protection on that. Glad to see that happen. Glad to see it indeed. So let's go with the Festering Vapors here. Try to get that light going. There we go. It's not much, but it's there. We'll call the deep on that wide mouth. Not a fan of that, but can't really do anything about it at the moment. Let's go for the Judgment here. Leaves them on 1. Not great. However, if we go for the breakthrough here, so long as we hit, we kill. There we go, 1 down. The one with more damage is still up, though. And they just hit Papon for a lot, but that did move the party back into its default order, so not going to complain about that. Octocestus, it's hard, it's a bleed. It's okay, though. We can deal with that. We'll just use a bandage here. And then we'll go with a Captivate. Do we? Yeah, I think we do. We go for the Captivate here. It just takes that wide mouth down, lights the body, so it'll go away soon enough. Stress Wave. Good dodge on both of them. Let's go for the Festering Vapors in the front here. Keep that blight going. It's up to 4 now. If it bleeds, can't hit there, but it doesn't need to. We'll go for the Wicked Hack just to knock them down a bit. Crit for 8, the blight will take them. We don't have to worry about them anymore. Now we can go for Divine Comfort. Kill everyone for 5. Another one of those. put everyone up to full. So let's go for the Captivate here now, since they're within the range of it. Let's think 4, take damage. Stress Wave on Crimson. Good dodge. Very good dodge. Let's go with the... yeah, let's go with the Fortifying Vapors here. Just on Crimson, just in preparation for any hallway battles we may face. Go for another... oh, there we go. Crit heal there. Everyone's up to full. And then the Wicked Hack can't hit there, but if it bleeds, can.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Get quite a bit out of that. With a coin, 3 deeds, 3 busts, a minor antique, and a jade.
Life and limb.
Now on to the next room. No hallway battles. Go ahead and open this chest. There's still booty inside.
If only treasure
Take what we
could
can from
staunch
there.
the flow of otherworldly
So we have
corruption.
Onyx and Citrine, as opposed to the minor antique. We're gonna get more antiques. We need to be using Fitzherbert for this. Somehow that thought keeps escaping me. We need to be opening trinkets with the antiquarian so that we keep getting antiques. That is primarily why they are here. Alright, so now then, let's see. Here we can potentially get some stress relief. I'm gonna go ahead and avoid that one though. Honestly, kind of glad we avoided it now, because now we have this encounter to deal with, and we can deal with it much more effectively now. So, Expose can't hit the enemy at the back there. But we can Captivate either one of them here. So, let's go for the Plated Magnet. Get 2 damage. It resists the Blight, unfortunately. And let's go for the Flash Powder on the Crusher. Drop their accuracy. Go for the Judgment on the Plated Maggot. And then go for, if it bleeds on the Maggot,
Confidence
and take
surges
them
as
down.
the enemy crumbles.
That puts the Oracle in a place where we can potentially hit them with the Expose to get rid of their stealth, but chances are... oh, good dodge, Oman. Both of those. Let's keep the Flash Powder up on this Crusher, actually. They deal a lot of damage, and they have a very potent bleed, so we don't want them hitting us. Dodge both attacks from the Pelagic Oracle, so we don't need the Expose now. Instead, we can use Captivate and Crusher. That'll get some blights going. We can use Judgment here on the Oracle with a crit for 14. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Tidal Slam. Good dodge. We want their accuracy as low as we can get it. And if it bleeds, can potentially kill here. There we go.
Continue the onslaught.
The Oracle is down. Don't need to
Destroy
worry about them.
them
Crusher's all that's
all.
left. So let's go for the Captivate again. Keep that blight going. Keep it high. Throw more Flash Powder. They dodged it that time, unfortunately. We could go for the Barbaric Yacht, potentially, but I doubt that would do the trick in terms of stunning them. So we're just going to go for the if it bleeds, and we actually get the bleed, surprisingly. And then we'll go for Judgment here. 11 damage. Start. Arterial Pinch. Ow. Very, very hefty bleed there. Not a fan of that. Then get the Flash Powder back on them, make sure they're inaccurate. Activate going, keep that blight high. Go for a bandage here to cure that bleed before it gets completely out of hand. Divine Grace here, heals us up to full. And then another if it bleeds. Crit for 12. And then damage over time effects.
The bigger the
Bring them
beast,
down.
the greater the glory.
Take what we can from here. And we'll actually move back. interact with this brackish tide pool. Purifies and cleanses the hero. Yeah, that suggests health. I was hoping it could also be stress. I thought I remembered it being stress as well at one point. Apparently I was incorrect in that. Hero receives a nasty gash. Unfortunate. So there goes another bandage to that. Let's go ahead and move on. No room battle here. Curio and an obstacle before us before another room battle. And 2 branching paths. One has a trap, a curio, and a room battle with treasure. The other has an obstacle, a hallway battle, a curio, and a room battle with a curio. At least we know what's ahead of us. No. No. We do not. Surely not. We do not. We do not do this.
Another mariner? Another misfortune.
I mean, we could. No. We shouldn't. We definitely shouldn't. But we could. We did it once before. No. With the stress we have now, it's just not a good idea. Of all the things we could do, that's one of the most foolish. So let's go ahead and get the torchlight back up here in this room battle. Much the same as the last fight. An oracle, a wide mouth, and a crusher. Let's go ahead and just drop the accuracy on the crusher. Oh, they resisted it. That's not great. Alright, well then, let's just, go ahead and pierce here, just to get some damage off. Do some judgment here. 10 damage. That's pretty good. And if it bleeds, there, take down the wide mouth. And then the stress wave. Didn't dodge it that time. Then arterial pinch. Also did not dodge. Also did not resist the bleed. That is a hefty bleed. So there goes our last bandage. Now let's go ahead and expose here. Move ourselves back into position. Another stress wave. Papon this time. Go with the Wicked Hack. Let's get the damage going. And we'll go for our Flash Powder here. There's the accuracy drop. We'll go with Judgment on the Oracle.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
Tidal Slam did a lot, but we resisted the move and the stun. There's the Stress Wave, dealing no damage, but does apply some stress. So let's go with the Captivate on the Crusher here. There's the Blight. And then we'll go with the Fortifying Vapors here. The crit heal for 4. And up the resistances for 3 rounds. And we'll go with the Divine Grace with another crit heal for 20. Crit heals are going crazy over here right now. And then let's go for an If It Bleeds here. Crit for 12. And we get the bleed. That's 7 damage. Start. Arterial Pinch. Ow. We can't cure that bleed. Don't have bandages. It's not going to happen. So that's 24 damage that we just kind of have to endure. Let's go ahead and Captivate here. Crit for 9. The damage over time effects will take them. No longer have to worry about them. So let's go ahead and use the Festering Vapors to get rid of that body. Use Divine Grace to heal up past the bleed. And then we can use the If It Bleeds here to get rid of the Oracle, potentially. If we can dodge, what to do.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination
Now,
be
let's just kind of
considered a virtue.
stall a bit so we can get one more turn of healing, if at all possible. Sway forward. There's the bleed. We heal past it. Papon is now back up to full. Ceremonial Cut. Good dodge. And then we can go with the Festering Vapors. And we'll go with the Wicked Hack.
Destroyed.
Down they go. Take what we can.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Sort the party back. We can swap the citrine for the ruby. Now, we know that curio is there, and we know what it is. Don't want to tangle with it, though. So we're just going to go ahead and here. Alright, the bleed is now taken care of there. Let's go ahead and clear that shipwreck and get this hallway battle out of the way. 3 pelagic wide mouths. Not the greatest thing in the world to see, so we're going to go ahead and sway forward here.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
We're going to up the resistance and heal Papon. Go for Judgment on this one from the back, which they dodge. Of course they do. And then we'll go for the Wicked Hack on the front one. Nice amount of damage from that. Seaward Slash. Crit for 20. Ow.
About to break.
Another Seaward Slash on Crimson. 10. Ouch. And then Spearfishing on Fitzherbert, which they dodge. That 39 dodge coming really handy there. Okay, now, let's go for the Expose on this one in the front. That takes them down. Don't have to worry about that. Seaward Slash. For 6. Ow. Might lose Crimson.
Precipice of oblivion.
Nope, they're going for Fitzherbert with the Spearfishing with a crit for 14 and pull them forward. Things are getting dangerous here. Let's go with the Fortifying Vapors here on Fitzherbert, because then we can get Papon to use Divine Grace on Crimson, bring them for 11. I'm not giving up. No, you're not. You're most certainly not giving up. Let's go for the Barbaric Yaw. Go for the stun. If we get a debuff to damage and speed, that's fine. We stunned one of them. That's more important right now. So let's go for the Pierce here. Crit for 22. I am beyond compare. There we go. 1 down. Don't have to worry about them. Now we can spend our time healing.
A momentary abatement.
I guess Crimson back up pretty high. And then let's go for a bit of vengeance.
Eradicated.
And that bit of vengeance is enough to kill. We have the Sickening Satchel for the Grave Robber.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Take what we can from here. We don't need more blood, so we can swap that out for the crests. We can use this torch.
As the light gains
we can take the
purchase,
Onyx. We don't really need the Sickening Satchel, but it's decent. And decent enough that I want to use this food to heal up Fitzherbert to take it. Wanted to use that food to heal them up anyway, but whatever, it's fine. Let's go ahead and have Fitzherbert check this out, except that Papon did it first, and they got the Red Plague from it. Fantastic. So, now, lower bleed resist, max HP, and crit. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, Papon. Thank you very much for that. Alright. An Outlaw Bloodletter, Outlaw Cutthroat, and Outlaw Fusilier. Well, of these things, let's go ahead and drop the accuracy on the Bloodletter. Judgment on the Cutthroat. And then we can pierce the Cutthroat. And then Breakthrough could do the trick, but we'll go for if it bleeds on the Cutthroat as well. Dang it! Missed it. Well, didn't miss, they dodged. And then they shank Papon for 17 and give
the end approaches.
Blanket Fire, good full team dodge. And then a rain of whips. Yikes. Papon's got a pretty serious bleed there. Not a fan of that. Go ahead and hit them up with Fortifying Vapors. Another Blanket Fire. Ow. Yar, indeed. Okay. That bleed is very dangerous. I'm gonna have to Divine Grace Papon here. Crit heal for 22. Beautiful. Exactly what we want to see. Right, and then let's go for the Expose on the Cutthroat.
Impressive.
Moves us back, crit for 10, so there's no body to worry about. The Outlaw is in range of many of our skills now. And then if it bleeds, could do some good work here. So let's go ahead and send one of those at this Fusilier. And the bleed will take care of them. Punishment, good dodge, Ormond. Now let's go for a Captivate on this Bloodletter. Did not get the Blight, that's okay though. Go for a Fortifying Vapors on Crimson, a crit heal for 4, gives them the buffs. Yep, everything's running red. I know. 2 crit heals for 10 there. Wonderful with that Divine Comfort. Punishment, ow. Resisted the bleed though. Very good. Very, very good. Let's actually go for the Barbaric Yop. And get the stun. Glad to see that. That bleed's still going. Let's go for another Divine Comfort here. Keep everyone as healthy as we can. Go for another Captivate. Crit for 18. And the Blight. No defense can handle attacks from all directions. That's true. That is true. Let's go for the Festering Vapors here. Get the Blight even higher. Lower the Blight resistance. And then we'll go for if it bleeds. Get the bleed damage. Damage over time effects will take them the next time they try anything. So we don't have to worry about that. Going to finish them off ourselves anyway.
Perhaps the turning point.
We'll take what we can from here. We can use this torch, so we might as well.
May we
Take the
find
crest, the
victory.
minor antique, busts, and the coin. What we can of it anyway. And then this fish idol. You can use holy water on. So let's do that with Crimson. Or Strength engulfs the hero. Plus 18% damage. Brilliant. Because we have lower damage, speed, accuracy, and higher stress. Because of that death's door that we got through. So let's go ahead and travel back this way. Now with that death's door there, we definitely aren't going back to take on the Shambler. It's just not happening. Now, with this trap, we see it. We have 80, 70, 60, and 60. Go for Crimson. There we go. Love to see that. Right. Hunger, that's fine. Crate was empty. Should have had Fitzherbert look into that, but it was empty, so it's alright. Still, on principle, should have had Fitzherbert looking into that. I do forget that quite a bit. We have another room battle here. Drop the accuracy on the Crusher if we can. Go for Judgment on the Wide Mouth. We know what we're doing here. Spearfishing. Hop on. For 8. Boost him forward. Fortunate. Stress Wave on Herbert and Crimson. And also the back of my mind. Well, we can actually set ourselves right back into our position of a Pierce here on this Wide Mouth, and we can take them down with an if it bleeds so long as we hit, which we do, so they're down. Arterial Pinch. Ow. And they get the bleed, because of course they do. So let's go ahead and Captivate here. And then we'll go for another Flash Powder there. Keep that accuracy as low as we can get it. Good dodge. Go for a Divine Comfort here. And then they go for an Arterial Pinch on Papon. Ow. really resist the debuff, but the bleed's still there, and that bleed is nasty. So let's go for the Wicked Hack. Let's keep that damage going. Now we'll go for another Flash Powder. Accuracy's down by 22. Still. Go for the Divine Grace here. Healed up to full. Sea Breeze. Of course, they're healing as well. So let's go with the Pierce on this Corpse. Corpse is gone. Don't have to worry about them anymore. Now we can go for the If It Bleeds on the Oracle. Bleed isn't enough to kill them next turn, but it's combined with the damage that we did before. It's enough to make things difficult. Very glad that we dodged that arterial pinch there with Papon. Or that Papon dodged that arterial pinch. That could have been very, very, very bad. So let's go ahead and use some Fortifying Vapors here on Ormond. And then we can use the Expose to take care of this Oracle. Move ourselves back to position with a crit for 14. And we'll go for a Divine Comfort here, actually. And then we can go for the Barbaric Yawp. Not a fan of the debuff that Yawp gives, but the stun is decent. Now we go for Flash Powder. Keep that accuracy low. Go for a Captivate. Apply the Blight if you can, which we do. The bleed is now gone, so we're going to go ahead and use Divine Comfort again. Crit heal for 10 on Crimson. Not that they needed it, but the lowered stress is appreciated. And then we're going to go for If It Bleeds, which they dodge. An Arterial Pinch on Papon again with a crit for 3.
Cannot be left unanswered.
That bleed is going to go on for several more rounds now. Going to go for a Captivate here again. Fortifying Vapors. Just got to heal past it.
Can be healed, but never hidden.
Use the medicinal herbs here actually to get rid of that. So then we can use the Divine Grace to heal up past the damage that bleed is doing. And then we'll go for an If It Bleeds here. Some damage. They resist the bleed. Light does its damage. Another Arterial Pinch. God, that's so much. That is so much. So much bleed damage on that. Just gotta keep applying these things. So much blood. I know. I know. Believe me, I know. Trying to heal past it. Gonna go for the Yawp again, actually. Don't get the stun that time. Don't you do it. Oh, God. That's gonna put them right on death's door.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Take what we can from this. This is not a good situation to be in. Alright, that's the last room battle. We're going to continue adventuring just so that we can get Fitzherbert key here. Let's see what we got. Coin, another antique, deed, gold, and crest. We did get the scout on the last room. There's a curio, a trap, and another curio. Now, we could be risky here. Could be very risky. And as much as I hate to say it, I think we might actually be risky. So we're going to swap the holy water out for the deeds. We'll swap the laudanum out for the crests. We'll swap the well, no, we won't. We'll keep the holy water on us. We'll swap the anti-venom for the holy water there. That bleed is going to go down in how much it does every turn, because it was applied over 3 turns. And the first one was a crit, so that was 8 bleed for 5 rounds. The second round, it was 8 bleeds for... After it applied once, it was 8 bleed for 4 rounds. Then he applied another arterial pinch, which left another 8 points for 3 rounds, putting it at 16 for 4. That's why it displayed as such. Which means that the next turn, it was... The initial 8 went down to 3 rounds, and the second 8 went down to 2 rounds. So it would have been 16 for 3 rounds as labeled, or on the label at least, but it would have only been 16 for 2, and then 8 for 1 after that. Then they applied a third one, which put it at 24 for 3 rounds, which means that it will be 8 for 3 rounds from the first and third bleed, and then 8 for 2 rounds from the second. So after 2 of these, we should be fine. And we have the food that every space we travel, we can heal them up. We're going to get risky here. We might lose Papon to this.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
Alright, so we heal them up. We don't heal them up for much. We heal them up for just enough to get them above the point where Death's Door will affect them. We get them off of Death's Door, and that's how we do it. This will stress them out a lot, though.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
And we are actually going to use our medicinal herbs here to get rid of that debuff so they can heal for as much as possible. See, now they're on to 24 for 2. We take another step forward. They're on Death's Door again. We heal them up, and now it's at only 16. Go forward a bit further, and we have Crimson try to deal with this trap successfully. Go forward one more step, the bleed is gone, they're back on Death's Door. We heal them up with the food, and we're okay. We're good. We're done. The bleed is gone. You had to look. Better than a trap. You know what? You're right, Ormond. You're absolutely right about that. Better than a trap. Much better than a trap. Okay, we've been to every room. There is no secret room to go to. We're not going back for the Shambler. We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and complete this quest.
At last, wholesome marine life can flourish. If indeed there is such a thing.
Hard to say if it's a thing or not, considering how much pain and suffering was just inflicted upon us by that Buka Crusher. With that massive amount of bleed that we had to deal with. There was a lot of blood after that. But we made it out of there. Crimson is now a champion at level 5. We've got Phengophobia, plus 20% stress of torch above 75. Probably going to try to get rid of that if we can. Ormond got the Creeping Cough, minus 20% damage. Well, Ormond and Papon are going to the sanitarium to get those diseases removed anyway. Papon is now also a master. And Fitzherbert got a lot of stuff. They got the Red Plague too, so they're going to have to go there for it too. They also got Gothic and Thanatophobia. Plus 20% stress if hit points are below 50%. Well, we can send them there. Pretty much everyone here is going to that center for something.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
Everyone's going there for something, whether to the treatment ward or the medical ward. So we'll send Fitzherbert to the treatment ward, or to the medical ward for the Red Plague. Send Ormond to the treatment ward for the Creeping Cough. Send Papon to the medical ward for the Red Plague. Send Crimson to the treatment ward for the Thanatophobia, or Phengophobia. There we go. Okay. So a lot of the money we just got has now been used, but everyone came out of there alright. So, we're going to go ahead and unequip all trinkets, sort by rarity. That's sorted out. No pun intended. Nomad Wagon has a Sun Ring, a movable helmet, Bloody Dice, and Bleed Charm. Not interested in any of those. And the Stagecoach has some pretty decent heroes on selection. We could swap Pekoth out for Fairfax just to take a level 0 or a Seeker for an Apprentice. Fairfax has Paranormania and Dipsomania. They also have Backtracker and Ruin Scrounger. As opposed to Curious and Musical. I think the better bet is just to let Pekoth go. We could dismiss Pekoth and just take them. We could just take Fairfax. You know, that actually doesn't seem like a bad idea. Though admittedly, having 2 negative quirks of Paranormania and Dipsomania could be dangerous. You know what? We recruited Pekoth, we're gonna use him. I know it's a stupid idea, I know it's probably a poor decision, but we're gonna stick with it. However, we do have a lot of crests and a lot of deeds now. We have 71 crests and 48 deeds. So, we have what we need almost to upgrade Instructor Mastery. That would let us be able to maximize anyone who's at level 4 or higher in terms of skills, in the skill levels. However, Blacksmith, we can upgrade either weaponsmithing or armor smithing to its maximum. And we're going to go ahead and do that since we have the resources to do so now. So we're going to bring weaponsmithing up to
Fan the
rank
flames,
5.
mold the metal.
Up
We
to
are
4.
raising an army.
We are indeed raising an army at this point. Yes, that allows us to upgrade our weapons to rank 5. So, we can maximize some weapons for people, but that's going to be expensive. Luckily, it only takes a few crests. It only takes about 10 crests and 9 deeds. Well, it takes exactly that, 10 crests and 9 deeds, to upgrade the furnace, which will reduce the weapon cost by 10%. And we can do that 5 times in total, and we've already done it once. And with anyone who has armor or weapon tinker, that will reduce costs even further. But yes, we've upgraded the blacksmith even further, which brings us one step closer to getting experienced recruits level 3. Now all we need is the Instructor Mastery and the Armor Smithing at level 4, which means we're going to need a lot more deeds and a lot more crests. We've got all the portraits we need, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's have a look around before we do anything else and just see, is there anything else we can do in terms of these things. Sorry about that, Shenanigamers. Had to take care of something real quick. We're back now. So, we could upgrade the treatment library or max out the medical devices, but the sad part there is that most of those require crests, which we're trying to stock up on. The Abbey also requires crests. Crests are required for most everything. Guild, Blacksmith, the Abbey, the Sanitarium, Tavern, Stagecoach, Nomad Wagon, Survivalist, all of them require crests to upgrade. So crests are in frequent demand. Busts and deeds, however, are less so. Let's see if there's any blueprints that we could potentially fill. With the amount that we have, I highly doubt that, but we'll take a look anyway. So the minimum amount we would need for anything would be 80 busts for the Sanguine Vintners, which, realistically speaking, isn't too bad. And we could also get, for 60 busts and 2,500 gold and a blueprint, we could get the granary. I think it might have been granary? Granary? Might be two different things, have to look that up. It's the granary, which would give us some food for free each week. Some food is granted for free each week. That is a very good thing. Plus, the additional plus 15% healing when eating. That could be very good. That could be very, very, very good. I'm certainly interested in that. But all things considered, I still think that the Sanguine Vintners is a pretty good pickup. But yeah, that's all that we can do with what we have right now. We're going to try and save crests so that we can get the blacksmith and the guild upgraded, and then get the stagecoach fully upgraded, and then after we get those completely done, we're going to work on the costs for the guild and the blacksmith, as well as on the abbey, sanitarium, tavern, survivalist, and then we can probably start working on the nomad wagon. I'm not too frequently or too heavily concerned with the nomad wagons upgrades, because we don't really take much from there. Just inspect what they have in case something really valuable that we really want is there. Sanitarium is pretty important. The tavern and the abbey, also very important. Survivalist, less so, but they're important enough to upgrade them once or twice, if not fully, because all they take is crests. The blacksmith and the guild is where we do a lot of our character improvements directly. And the stagecoach, if we have anything or anyone who's going to be coming onto the roster, we want them to be as strong as possible. And we want to have as many options as we can as well. And we want to have as many people as we can. So that's why that one's being the first one almost completely upgraded. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of Darkest Dungeon. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more content like this, or the other kinds of content we put out on the channel, we're going to keep that content coming, so don't you worry about that. Hit the notification bell so that you receive notifications whenever we upload new videos. Leave a comment on the video, it helps us out a lot, it really, really does. Also, remember to leave a comment if you want to have one of the heroes on this roster named after you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!